Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our second day of the Otter amazing online retreat. I am so excited. I've come on a bit early just so you all get your notifications and we can get started at 10 o'clock. So I'm going to give you all a few minutes to jump on. I'm just going to finish my cup of tea. Hi, Tanya. Good to see you this morning. If I had to have a prize for the person that came on first each time, it would have to be you, Tanya. I love that you're on ball. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Good morning to you too. Have you all got your pens and papers ready for today? Are you writing down measurements and are you excited about making some fun fold cards and some plain cards? But we've got some fun fold cards for you today, so you might want to write down the measurements, watch, and then remake and watch and remake. You've been waiting. Well, I just thought, oh, come on a couple of minutes early just so that everyone can get on nice and early this morning on time, get their notifications. Did your notification come through this morning, Tanya? Hi, Kaz. How are you? Good to see you. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Renee. So you're participating today. I'll go a little bit slower if I know you're participating. If we go over the half an hour for some of these fun fold class cards, that's okay. Okay, don't stress out. I won't cut you out halfway between making a card. So some of the cards may take a little bit longer when we're crafting along. Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad you come on straight away. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm just making sure that everyone's got their notifications changed into their notifications so that they can see all notifications. So that way they won't miss anything. We've got some gifts to give away again today. How exciting is that? I can't believe we're the 1st of December. 1st of December, 25 days to Christmas or 24 days to Christmas. You're just taking notes today, Kaz. You did a good job making your cards last night. Very impressed. Very lovely. And they're great fun fold cards to make and a lot of fun. I love the stand on the back of the cards. I used to do that a lot. And yeah, I thought I must do another stand one because I really love the stands on the back of the cards. They're so easy to do, and we used to thread ribbon through them and all sorts of things. So lots of different ideas there that you can do. So you've got your pad, your pen, your coffee, and we might get started in just one more minute. I'll just give one more minute and then we're going to get started. Thank you for everyone that came on yesterday. Don't forget, if you are going to be placing an order with me, then I've got the December host code up already for you. So just check that out. It's on the link down on the page. So make sure you use the December host code if your order is going to be under $250. Otherwise, enjoy your free spending. Okay, 1 minute, let's get going. And I'm going to come down, I'm going to give you the measurements of all the cards and then I'm going to come down and do a bit with you so you can see. Okay, so you need to cut 2 pieces of the Lost Lagoon at 20 centimetres by 10 centimetres. So 20 centimetres by 10 centimetres, you need 2 of them. So you need to do that. Good morning, Sally. If you're crafting along with me today, please put done when you've cut up what you need to cut up so that I know I can move on. So our first is to cut 20 by 10. We need 2 of these in Lost Lagoon or whatever colour you're using. Hi, Teresa. Good morning. Good to see you on. I love seeing everyone popping on. Love to see how you're going. We've just started this fun fold card. Morning, Elizabeth. Morning, Susan. You're not crafting along today. That's okay. You can take notes. You can write measurements down. Some people are taking notes, and I think some people said they were going to join in today. So we're just starting on the first card. So you need two 20 centimeters by 10 centimeters in Lost Lagoon or Pool Party or whatever, or white, or whatever color you're going to use for your base card. So you want two of them. Okay, two of them. Okay, then you want three 7 by 7 in the same paper. 7 by 7. So you want 3 of them. So the easiest way to do that is to cut down a 7 centimeter strip and then just cut off 7 and 7. Okay, cut your 3 7s off. Then you need to get your Whisper White and cut 3 6.5 by 6.5. So you need 3 white ones. 1, 2, 3. I nearly dropped one. Okay. Then it comes to choosing your designer series paper to put on the inside. And what I normally do is cut a strip at 9.5 centimeters down, making sure that your picture's going across that way, okay, horizontal. And then you're going to cut, I think it's 6. 1, 2, you get it across the 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. And then cut 4.5 6 times. Hi, Kerry, how are you? Yeah, 6 times. Okay, now if you've missed the beginning, guys, I'll just quickly go through it again while I'm just waiting on some of the girls. You're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock 20 centimeters by 10 in the same color. This is the base of your card, and I will come down and show you how to do this. I'll come down and show you how to do this. Then you need 3 7 by 7 centimeter squares in the same color, and then you need 3 6 by 6 squares in Whisper White. Okay, so when you're cutting out your piece of paper for the top bit, you need to cut across this way, okay? So you need to cut down 10 centimeters. I think, or 9.5. Let me just check that again. 9.5. So cut 9.5 from the top, whichever paper you're using. Then you're going to cut your 4.5 6 times. Hi, Lillian. Good morning. Okay, 6 times. This has got, the one that I'm using has got the fish on the back. Yes, the white was 6.5 by 6.5, Tan. You need 3 of them. Okay, 3 white, 6.5 by 6.5. So just write done when you've done that. Sorry guys, I'm just looking to see who's come on so I can write your names down while you're doing this. So you can go into the gift giving drawers. Okay. So with the next step coming up, I am going to bring the camera down so that you can actually see what I'm doing, because this part is an important part to get your base of your card right. Okay, so I'm going to come down and I'm going to pull this up so that you can see my paper trimmer. Okay, so for your base, you need to score it at 5. So line it up at the 5 centimeters. Okay, so you got the horizontal, which is the 20 centimeters up hard against your paper trimmer. Grab your blade out of the way, you do not want your blade. And you want to score at 5 centimeters. Then you want to bring it right across, just drag it across to the 15 centimeters. And you want to do 15 centimeters. Make sure you've got 20 centimeters, because I've got a feeling I've got 21 because I haven't trimmed it off yet. I have. So make sure if you've got 20 centimeters and cut that last centimeter off. Okay, because you do not want that on there. So the other way you can do it is you can cut that centimeter off first if you want to. Move that blade out of the way and then come back in and you're going to score 5 centimeters. So you're doing this on both your pieces of the base. 5 centimeters, then pull it right along to the 15 centimeters and then score again. Make sure that you've always got your paper up against the edge of the paper trimmer. I'm just going to fold these so you can see them maybe. You can see them a little bit better. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is you need to line this up at 5 centimeters, because this is 10 centimeters across the top. And you're going to just put a little mark with your pen on the cut line. Okay, so that's your 5 centimeters. So you need to do that on both of them. So 5 centimeters, a little line on the cut line and on the cut line. Now make sure that it is butted right up against your paper, it's not crooked, because if it's crooked then your marks are going to be crooked. Okay, then you're going to turn your trimmer around. Let me work this out from this way. And you're going to have your point where you've marked it, and you're going to line it up at that 5 or 15 score line. So make sure that you've got that both in the cutting lines. Your score line and your little mark. When you've done that, then you're just going to trim that bit off. You're going to do the same on this side. You're going to line up your score line and that little mark again. Okay, so we're going to take out that. We're going to take out that bit there. And now you've got a triangle. You're going to do the same on the other side. You're going to line up your little mark and your score line into your cutting line. And your cutting line's the gap, okay? The gap in your part of your trimmer here. You know, this little gap here, that is your cutting line. Okay, so make sure that you've got it on the cutting line. And same with your little mark. and then turn it around and do the same. Your point and your score line, line it up to that cutting line and cut it down. You need to do this, so now it looks like this with both pieces of your card. So once again, line up your point and your score line. Okay, point and score line, and trim that off. Turn it around. Once again, where you've marked it and your score line on your cutting line. Okay, once again, line it up again. Having this little guide, this line here where it's got the centimetres and the inches on it, that's a good thing to line the point up onto, because you can sort of move it around, your paper around, and line it up so it's nice and straight. That's just a little gold nugget and a little tip. So the point of your bit here is on the, just the line there. It just helps you make sure that you're doing it in a straight direction. And you can sort of see this is your fold line here, and then this is where we've marked it here. Now this mark and this fold line have got to be cut. Okay, so just make sure that you line them up and then trim that off. The same with this one as well. Okay, so line him up and just use that straight line to have your point going straight. Okay, that way you'll always get a beautiful cut the way it's meant to be. I think I've got to get a bit of a blunt. Now the other thing that's important is to grab a piece, this is a scrap now, so grab that and run it down to grab all the lint out of your cutting. You will see all the lint come out down the bottom. That builds up over time, so you need to make sure that you get that lint. You can sort of see the lint. So make sure that you give that a really good clean. I quite often don't run your scissors in there because you'll put a dint, or don't run a piercing tool or anything hard, because what you're going to do is you're going to make that cutting line deeper. So you just want to make sure that you've got that clean, okay? If your trimmer's not working properly, it'd be because it's got lint on it. So you can also come in with a baby wipe and give your trimmer a really good wipe over. Okay, so give it a really good wipe over and make sure that it's nice and clean. You can sort of see that it's still got some lint in there, so give it a really good clean. Get the glue, if you've had glue, like I have, and just give it a bit of a clean. Okay, it's good to clean it. Also clean under here. Did you know these can be pulled out? So you can give them a really good wash. Sometimes I just take them and wash them in some hot soapy water and make sure I get all the glue and everything off. Okay, so it's good to know how to look after your tools, not only just keep using them, but to really get them clean so that they slide really well when you're cutting. Excuse me. So make sure you get into all the little grooves. The other thing is you can pull these off and give them a wash to your scorer. Okay, because it does build up with lint in there. So I clean mine quite often so they're not dirty, but you can tell if they are, and you can take your, excuse me, got a tickle in the throat already, your cutting blade off as well. Give it a clean. As well, okay, because that helps it slide along. Gonna have a little drink. Okay. Then get a soft cloth or a tissue and make sure that it is dried really well, because it has to be dried really well if you've used a wet one. Okay, so make sure that you dry it really well. Look after your paper trimmer, it'll last you for a long, long time, and don't let it build up with lint, okay, because your paper trimmer will work so much better this way if you don't have it with all the lint in there, okay. So put your scorer whichever end you use it, and then also your blade. Be careful with your blades because they are sharp. They cut both ways, remember, because you can cut up or down, so they are sharp. Okay, make sure that you have got that dried off really well. And now your blade should slide really well on your paper trimmer. Okay, so we have all got the base done now. Have we all? Oh, you're welcome. It's always good to know how to clean your paper trimmer really well. Your paper trimmer is an important sort of little thing that you need to do. There's lots that you can still do on the paper trimmer as well. And I'll show you another little thing in a minute. Everyone up to, okay, so we're going to move on to our next step. So down we come. Okay, I hope you all can see really well and we haven't got too many shadows. So I'm going to get my silicone mat because I like to have my silicone mat here so I can work on that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is fold our two of them up so that they're going to come together. Okay, so they're going to come together. So I'm going to fold that over and get my glue, and I'm going to clean this because I like my glue cleaned as well. Okay, down here on this triangle, on this little triangle piece, don't go too close to the edge that it's going to pop out, but you need it close enough to the edge that it's going to stick. Okay, so very fine lines. And then bring this one in and line it up. Make sure that it's all lined up nicely. Okay, so that's our first one. I'm going to make sure that that's lined up nicely. Now, before we go any further, we need to do a little bit of scoring. So pop this in your paper trimmer, and you're going to line up this line, this score line, at 5. So we're going to line the score line, this score line here, that's where your triangle is, this one here, at 5 centimeters. And we're going to line that up. And we're going to score that. Okay, so we've got a score line of 5 there. Going to turn it around and do exactly the same on this side. You're going to line that fold line up on the 5 centimeters. And then you're going to score that. So now you have a score line here as well. Now this is where you're going to place your pieces, okay, that you've cut out here. So we're going to place these in. You can use whichever side you want to use. Don't forget come close as you can to the edge on with a very fine line. Now you've got a little mat around this because this piece is 4.5 by 10 and the other piece underneath is 10 by 5, so you're going to have a border. Okay, so we're going to have the first one put in. I thought I had these in order, but I might not. I might not have them in order. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, this is it. I have got them in order. I try to put them in on top of one another when I cut them so that they're in order, so that when you're putting them on here, they look like they've got a bit of a pattern happening. Okay, so this one as well. Like I said, please don't panic if we're going over half an hour because we just might have shorter break times. But I want to do one video for every card and then we'll start a new video. So we will have a break between each video just so that you can make a cuppa, grab something to eat, go to the toilet, have a stretch, all those things that you really need, okay? It's important to do that. Okay, so once you get all these here, you need to turn over the back here, and we're going to cut 2 white ones for the back in a minute. And we're going to put one here and one here. And you're going to cut 2 9.5 by 4.5 white to go in here. So bring this one down. And this one up the other end. And it doesn't matter which paper you use, they all look amazing. They all look different, but they all look amazing. It's hard to see the score line sometimes. If it is, just hold your card up a little bit when you're putting it in so that you can make sure that it is in the score lines. Okay, so we're going to cut out 2 white. Just grab some scraps here. 2 white at 9.5, so I'm going to bring this to 9.5. And then just went all it around to 4.5. So you want 2 of them. Okay. And then you're going to glue those 2 on. We have got a few fun fold cards to do today, so they will be longer than half an hour sessions. Sorry about that, but it's the only way we can do it. But I promise you, you'll get a break after every card. And the reason I do that is because I like you to have each card separate on the video, so you're not looking through 2 or 3 hours of video looking for a particular instructions that you want. Okay, so this is what it looks like at the moment. We've got our back bit here. We've got 2 patterns and 2 whites. And then over here, we've got our patterns and our triangle flap. Okay, so before we do the rest of that, we need to actually do some stamping. Okay, so we've got our white pieces here and we're going to do some stamping. Now, when you're doing the stamping, you've got to remember that you're going to be stamping this way, not that way. Not with the straight, you're going to be doing it like a diamond. So it's always good to line your paper up on your grid paper or your glass mat, that you got your points lined up together on your little line, okay? And then we're going to do some stamping down. So the first card, what we're going to do is we're going to stamp out the two otters and the trees, or the bushes, or the flowers, or the wheat, or whatever it is. I'm not quite sure what it is. Grass, flowers, this one. Ink him up in Memento ink and come down onto your first one. The important part is that you must have it on an angle, okay? So we're going to do that. Then we're going to clean our stamp. And I'm going to pop that away. And I'm going to grab the little fish. Can you see the little fish? We got some little fish there. They're so cute. So cute. And I'm going to put them on I've just got to find my grey granite or basic grey, whichever one you want to use. I think I'll use basic grey. Basic grey, and I've just got to grab my Lost Lagoon ink. I'll put that away. Don't know why I put these away last night, but I thought I was cleaning up and I still need them. Okay, so let's do our first one. We'll do this first one. So you will need, I'm going to do it on my silicone mat so I don't mess my glass mat up this morning. But you're going to need your blue and your Lost Lagoon, because you're going to do some blending before we put the fish in. And you're going to colour it. So, do you know this is a really good way when you're refilling your inks too, is to bring your blender brushes in as well. Now the good thing about your blender brushes is they'll last a long time with ink in them if you use them correctly. Now the other good thing about it is you can always have a little bit of a sample one to come out on like this as well before you start blending. Just because when you load your brushes up a lot, you'll get a lot of streaks. So you might want to start blending it before you start adding it to your work here. Okay, now I do want a little bit of white left around my otters. I don't want to do the whole lot in blue, but I do want to do a little bit. But I do want to leave some of the white effect as well. Okay, once you get that on, that's a really good gold nugget. And the good thing about it is you can punch things out of that. Is we want our fish. So I'm going to come through with my basic grey. I've decided to go with basic grey. And I'm going to just put them in underneath here. Okay, so I've got my fish on there. Okay, so that's our first one, and then you're going to colour it in. So I'm going to do the second one and show you, and you can colour it in. We'll put it together and then you can colour it in, or you can colour it in before you put it together, I think is the best way to go, isn't it? So we're going to put this one here on an angle, once again, and we're going to come in with the words first, Okay, so we're going to come in with the words. This is your utterly amazing, and we're going to come in with the grey, or you can use black, whichever way you want to go. And we're going to come in with this about here, over to this side. You're utterly amazing. And then I'm going to clean that up. And I like to, when I've got a colour, I like to do all my stamping first and then my colour, because then that way I'm getting my blends out once and not putting them in and out, in and out. So we're going to have this otter. Put this one away and grab our black. Did everyone bring a cup of tea with them? Or a coffee, because this one's going to take a little bit longer than half an hour, which I knew it would, but that's okay. And we're going to now come down with this one on here. Okay, and then we're going to come in with our basic grey again. Whoop. After I've done my blending. Make sure it's dry too before you blend. There's nothing worse than nothing worse than blending it and then all of a sudden the black smudges because it hasn't quite dry, or you've got a thick piece that's really wet. So load your brush up again. Once again, grab your paper, just try it out. Make sure you're getting a nice smooth blend with your blender brush. Okay, so make sure I'm going to leave some white around here as well. You can see how much ink is in the brush by how much I'm blending. If you want it darker, just keep going over. Little circular motions is really, really great. It gives you a really great blend. And just keep blending over until you get it to the shade that you want, because you have got a lot of ink in there. You don't really need to keep building it up with ink. Okay, they do hold a lot of ink in the brushes. Okay, so once you sort of get it where you want, we'll just do a little bit over that. Then that one can be, all right, you've got to put your fish on, and then that one can be put aside for colouring, whether you're going to use inks or whether you're going to use blenders, pencils, the choice is yours. Okay, just clean my mat again and flip it over. Okay, so the last one, where's my last one here? On an angle again. Now this one we're going to be doing this otter. He's a lazy otter. And we're also going to be using this little bit of tree, it looks like, and the little dots. Can you see the little dots? There's tiny little dots like bubbles, and then there's a little tree as well. Okay, let's go with this. We want the black, and we definitely want a block. He's so cute, this little one. He looks like he's just having so much fun. Okay, so he's just going to go right bang whack in the middle around there. Now, we're not going to do a whole mask because you don't need to do a whole mask. But we're just going to do a little bit of a mask up here. So just cut a little bit of your otter head out like this. Okay, I'm just going to do a little bit up here. Where is my paper snips? Over here. So I'm just going to cut the little otter out around here and just around his head a little bit. Masking techniques are a really great technique. You can do so many wonderful things with masking. Okay, so we're just going to cover this up here over his head like that, because this is so little, this little stamp. We don't need to do too much, and we need to just come in and do some bushes sort of like coming up behind him. Okay, and then just move the mask down. He looks like he's laying his head on the bushes, down to the tail end here. Okay, so you're just going to do a few more coming out from the tail end here. Okay, so you've got that little mask that just come in handy. He looks like he's actually resting on them, which is really cute. Then we're going to make sure that we've got some smoky slate or grey granite, whichever is your lightest colour that you want to use. I'm going to grab the grey granite over here. Should have brought all my inks back this morning. That's okay. So we're going to grab the grey granite and we're going to grab this little bubbly bit, and we're just going to do some little bubbles coming up out of this, because he's breathing under the ocean. And then just bring some in over this side as well if you want to. And then we're going to also, you can use the dark if you haven't got it. You can use a blue, you can use whatever colour you have in your stash. Okay, there's no right or wrong. Just the preference I prefer to use on mine, but you can use what you've got. Okay, dots, Otter's clean. Make sure that you clean all your stamps so they're clean for the next session. Also, then we're going to come in with our fish. I just want to clean them again. Okay, so our fish in the basic grey, that's what I was using, but I'm not doing that until I sponge. Okay, so sponging first, or blending first. Lost the word, that's what I'm looking for. Here it is. Okay, scrap paper again. You can sort of see it's a bit rough at times, and then come in and start doing your blend. You can see that I've only really loaded it up and I'm just doing circular motions and going over and over and over in the same spot. It will darken up, and I'm leaving a little bit of white in that section. The white makes it look light under the ocean, like, you know, when you're doing the ocean, so you've got to sort of think about what you're actually doing. Now, the good thing about this, if you're not into colouring, the designer series paper do have these 3 images on it that you can actually cut out using your dies. So you could do it that way too if you wanted to. Okay, you could cut it out from your designer series paper and add it to the front of your card. Okay, if you feel like you haven't got the colours that you need, that's another alternative if you've got the designer series paper. But if you buy the suite, it's the best way because you've got everything in it. Okay, all mine are away now. So now we're going to come in with our blends, and it's important to pick whatever colours you want, but I'm going to start off with, like I always do, with my ivory. Okay, it's up here. So I'm going to start off with my ivory, and I'm going to bring my 3 pieces in because I like to do my 3 pieces all at once. So my first one I'm going to do is I'm going to just colour up on his cheek area and come down through here, and like he's got a little bit of a pink belly happening here. Okay, and bring in a little bit of colour through there. Okay, so that's the first one. This one, the same, I sort of like to come in down this area with my ivory. You can use whatever colour you want. Okay, but I find this works really well for the Otter one. And then I'm just going to come sort of like to a little bit of a point. Okay, and then this one I'm just going to do around the neck area here. And this one I'm just going to do around the neck area here, and maybe just a fraction bit up on those bits there. Okay, then you've got to work out what browns you want, and you can do them all the same colour browns, or you can do them different colour browns. That's it. It's entirely up to you which way you want to go. But I'm going to come in with dark crumb cake. That's wild wheat. Okay, I keep grabbing that wild wheat for crumb cake for some reason. Oh, here it is up the top. I must have changed those 2 over yesterday. Okay, so I'm using the dark one, am I? Yeah, the dark one. So I'm going to come in and just use the dark crumb cake on this, and I'm just doing circular motions because you don't have to do straight lines on this. You've got to do straight lines in the lines, but you don't have to do straight lines if you don't want to. I mean, you don't have to colour backwards and forwards like that if you don't want to, but you can colour round if you want to. It's entirely up to you. And then I'm just going to do the face. Okay, and then I'm going to use the light one for the other one. Don't go too close to the outer edge if you don't want it to bleed out. Okay, because sometimes the alcohol blends are a little bit too wet, and if you go too close to the edge, they'll bleed out. So just come away from that line a little bit, and it will blend itself out to the line. Okay, so we've got a... Now the good thing about using a light or a dark like this is that you can come back over it and darken it up where you want to. Okay, so if you want to darken it up around this area, you can darken it up around this area. Okay, so I think we'll just use the two colours today, just so that you can sort of see that we can use a bit of light in here. Turn it around and use a bit of light in here. Such a... got a smile on his face. He's so cute, this one. It really is. Yes, I'm just sunbaking under the water. Okay, and then you can sort of highlight this one if you want to with the dark. Like you can come in and just highlight it a little bit as well. It's entirely up to you how much you put on it. You just do little bits. And then once you get all your lines on there, you must come back with your light one and go over the top of it and blend all that in. Okay, so blend it in so you don't get like streaky white lines. So it all blends. Then you're going to come in with that ivory one more time, and you're just going to come over and now blend through with the ivory. Okay, so we've got two done. So now this one again, so this time I'm going to do this one just in the dark. Come down in his arms. How's everyone going? Are you colouring up mad? Sorry for the guys that aren't doing it with us. I didn't know whether to just let you colour it in yourself, but sometimes I think people like to see how it's coloured. What's your opinion on that? Do you want me to colour, or do you want me to leave you the colouring to do by yourself? Or do some of you really love to see how I do the colouring? Okay, and then come in with your beautiful ivory again and start blending this through. As well. Come in over the top just to change that colour a little bit as well. Okay, so that's our 3, not quite finished. We've still got just a couple of little bits of grass to do on here. So we're just going to grab out old olive or whatever colour you want to grab out, and just do your grass bits here, and then grab, I'm going to use the wild wheat and just do the little weeds or whatever they are, leaf weeds, little tree weeds under the ocean. And these ones over here as well. And just do these ones. And then these over here. Okay. Very good. Okay, how did we all go with that? So now we're going to come back here and we're going to make sure that we have your pictures facing you is probably a good idea on this. And then you're going to, I've got to stop and think what I'm doing now. Then you're going to stick this onto there. Okay, make sure that it's in, that's to the score lines. Okay, so we're going to put some glue on this middle one. We're going to try to come to the edge because we want it to the edge, but we want it fine. Okay, so just rub it backwards and forwards to get it sticky, but not wet. Sticky, but not wet. Sticky, but not white. Okay, we want it sticky right on the edge. And this one is going right on top of this one. And this one is then going in here, or you can put them however you want, but I'm going to do the double one in the middle. Border around it. Grab your bone folder and make sure that you give this a nice varnish. Okay, and then you're going to come in with your next one on here. And then bring in another one that you want. And make sure that that's up the right way. I forgot to put the fish on this one. That's all right. I can still add some fish on that. And then on this one, we want to do the same again. We want to bring this one in on here. So over here on this one. Once again, try to make it sticky around the outer edge, but not too much white, because the white means it's too thick. Cover the inside. Bring your triangle on here. Make sure you have it. Whoop. Make sure you have it lined up. Okay, and then bring your other one over here. Doesn't matter which way you do these, they look good either way, and I'll show you the other one now that I've already made up that we did last week in the Fun Fold class. We didn't do the otter, we did a different card, but we actually did this design, and I did one in the otter as well. So then this is just going to come across into here, and this is going to come across into here. So whichever way you want to fold it, you can fold it. Okay. It usually just folds in okay, and it folds over like that. Opens up like this, and then it sits like this. So you've got this one sitting out, and you write on the back. It's such a cute little card, this one, honestly. It really is. I don't know how to make it sit for you, so you can sort of see it really good. There it is. Okay. So this is our card. Now this is the one I did last time. I did the Otter's darker, and I did a lighter background. Okay, so this one was the light background, and I did the otters on the front darker, where this one had darker background, so I did the otters on the front lighter. So I think we will have a quick 15-minute break. I hope you all enjoyed that, because that one took a little bit of time, but that's okay. And we'll be back to do another Fun Fold card, so hopefully it won't take too long, but we'll be back to do another one. So I will see you all back here at 1:15. So go and grab yourself a drink, go to the toilet, and come back. Thank you, and God bless you, and I'll see you at 11:15. Bye for now.